You are listening to Living Lighter Radio. I'm Jason.
And I'm Patricia, with an ecosystem approach to your life. Tune in every Monday at 1 p.m. Pacific on Transformation Talk Radio.
Living Lighter provides a revolutionary way to address what's truly holding you back. We have the tools you need to reach your goals and at the same time be living lighter.
Join us now for a Living Lighter experience. This is Living Lighter Radio, and I'm Patricia. I'm here with my husband, Jason. Today, we're going to talk about being disappointed in love. The disappointment in the world today is huge. We're going to talk about how to reduce the pain. We use an ecosystem approach to you, which is much different than what you are commonly taught. We see human beings as ecosystems that need to be uncovered instead of programmed. Human potential becomes infinite with our ecosystem approach. You know, we have worked with so many people who have been disappointed in love over the years. How do we help those people?
It's kind of simple from our perspective. The pain and the hurt from disappointment are energies that can be cleared directly.
Well, okay. What do people try to do with that pain?
They do almost everything else. They focus on controlling the way they think, which doesn't work.
No.
They take actions to show they are overcoming the pain, makeovers, exercise program, diet, new wardrobe, those types of things. Filling out an application to a convent or monastery.
Excuse me?
I actually haven't heard anybody say that.
He couldn't resist that, everyone. I know.
A lot of people say, well, I'm gonna go become a monk, or I'm gonna go become a sister, whatever. It's that's not going to work either. A lot of drinking, self-destructive behavior, drugs, throwing themselves into work so they burn themselves out.
Okay, but wait a minute. Actions don't change the energies, Jason, or the feelings.
That's one of the major points today.
Okay,
you can posture, you can makeovers, drinking, exercise programs, throwing yourself into work, but the feelings of hurt, betrayal, anger, rage, jealousy, maybe all of those combined.
Well, true, but
they're energies.
Okay, but Jason, we have been taught, we have been trained, we have been programmed to talk about our feelings.
Yes, and we see as intuitives that the energy of those feelings don't necessarily go away when you talk about them. And in fact, sometimes they reinforce them. In other words, that makes the energy increase. The energy increases. If you talk about how that SOB did you wrong over and over and over again, it doesn't necessarily help it go away.
No, not at all. But, I do want to say, the ecosystem approach is revolutionary. And it is a revolutionary way to approach your feelings and approach how you do life in a very positive way.
It's kind of simple.
Okay.
The process is real simple, and we're going to do some clearing at the end of our show today. So stay tuned. But the idea that you can just clear your feelings.
It's kind of like, huh?
Yeah.
You got to be kidding me.
But it's so helpful.
Exactly. And, one of the first things I noticed when I started doing the ecosystem approach, it made me see the world and my life from a whole different perspective, one that I had no idea that I could even connect with. It was really weird to me.
It really is amazing. But here's the root cause for people that are disappointed in love.
Okay. And by the way, it's happened to all of us.
And it can be from divorce. It can be from loss of a love. It can be from, all sorts of things.
Exactly.
But we see, this is our programming culture. We see relationships from a perspective of like a features list or a resume.
Well, okay. I'm sorry. What do you mean by that?
Well, first of all, if you go to the source of all knowledge, which is the Hallmark Channel. I'm being sarcastic, but all the love.
I didn't expect that, everyone.
When my mom lives with us, and a lot of times she'll watch the Hallmark Channel during the day, and
right,
all the love stories are about having a relationship with someone who looks good on paper. He's perfect, she's perfect, all those things, but there's always someone else.
Well, let me give you a little clue about the everybody that looks good on paper, that kind of thing. Well, first off, they're probably doing what? They're lying in some way, fashion, or whatever, and they never put on that list of their attributes. They never put the list of this makes them angry, or this if you say this thing to them, they react. It's that people don't talk about it.
And to be fair,
okay,
that's what we're taught. We're taught to put our best foot forward.
Exactly.
Which is another way of saying,
lie.
Create a marketing plan, create a false narrative for yourself.
Right.
And for the most part, and we've seen this, having done this work for so many years, most people don't even know how obnoxious they are to their mates.
Well, he's not looking at me, I swear. But you know what? One of the things that the programming teaches, and I mean, it teaches, not only did it teach us, but it taught our parents and our parents' parents and so forth. So back, going all the way back, it teaches us to not know who we are and not know what we really want or what we need in a relationship.
But it teaches us to decide who we're going to be,
right,
and then act that way.
Exactly, and
which is a form of being phony or lying. We saw.
Well, it creates illusions.
Yes,
and it just doesn't work. It's, and
the problem in most relationships, and this is why there's so much divorce, is. We create this checklist, feature list,
right,
resume,
yeah,
and the person who falls into it, it's perfect, and then we start to see them as they really are.
Because you can't hold on to the illusion about yourself forever.
Now, when you go into work, you might be able to maintain that illusion for a long time,
sure,
because it doesn't require the kind of intimacy that a partnership or a marriage or an intimate relationship does, but that's the problem in intimate relationships. You start to see each other the way that you really are. And for a lot of people, neither one is happy.
Well, and here's the ironic part. We're programmed to just push through it, get over it, get it done, just do it. We're programmed to accept that ourselves and our partner, this is just the way it is, and there's nothing I can do about it.
I'm working with someone right now who's the stated goal. Her stated goal has always been to find someone, get married, and have a family.
Mm-hmm.
And she has a feature list, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's very normal. That's very common.
Right.
But she met someone who she's really attracted to, who doesn't line up with her feature list. And there's one of those boxes that didn't get checked. And in her mind, and her training is that if you don't have all the features, then you should go next.
Then you failed,
or that it's not the right person. So if you go try and pursue a relationship with someone who doesn't check all the boxes, then you're automatically going to fail, because of course it didn't check your features list. But the problem is, you're setting yourself up for disappointment,
right?
Because this is what I know, and this is, we've been working together for a while, and she's starting to get this, and it's really exciting to me. But she's starting to see that maybe, first of all, her objective in the first place, to get married and have a family, isn't necessarily what she wants. OMG.
What a concept.
It is. And so many people, because that's programming. Right. Where do we get that? We don't get that from our source, our essence. We get it from this idea that it usually get it from our parents,
right?
Our culture that we grew up in,
right.
our friends and relatives,
right.
And And then so she's seeing someone whose feature list doesn't check all the boxes. Well, but she's attracted to him, and she doesn't
know what to do with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to step in and talk about myself for just a moment. When I was very young, and I didn't realize this until we really started working on this love segment that we've been doing all month. I didn't realize that my first husband, I had a checklist. And yes, I was very, very young, but I had this checklist that was based on my sister's checklist. He came from the right family. He was good looking. He had potential to make money. He was a good guy, very sweet, that sort of thing. But I realized he was not the man for me.
After she saw the real him.
Exactly. And so, in other words, what you're presenting to the world is you're doing that out of programming. And what we're saying, use the ecosystem approach to first learn to love yourself, and then figure out what you want.
And when we say this to people, I see masses of single people screaming and wailing into the
radio.
Yes, into the radio. When I say, well, first you have to know yourself and have self-love.
Oh, that takes way too long, Jason.
And then go and find a relationship.
Right.
Because if doing it the opposite way, you set yourself up for disappointment.
Exactly.
It's and I have to raise my hand. I've had 2 other marriages before meeting the love of my life, who's sitting next to me, I was so stupid. As my daughter used to say, "Duh, Dad." It's like I and especially my second wife. I came up with a really advanced,
list,
impressive list.
Yes,
and she met him. And she was, oh my gosh,
she was the worst of the lot.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, Jason, what are the key points of this segment?
Actions and behaviors rarely change the feelings connected to disappointment and love.
Duh.
And
okay.
Yes, thank you. The root cause of disappointment is pursuing features in a relationship versus having real connections. Our programming culture focuses on our attention on someone's resume instead of the connection to that person. And the ecosystem approach helps you secure a pain-free place within yourself instead of the disappointment that you feel when you are disappointed in love.
Stay tuned. When we come back, we're going to talk about the root cause of disappointment in love and what you can do about it today. This is Living Lighter with Jason and Patricia with an ecosystem approach to your life. You're listening to Transformation Talk Radio.
Are you ready to awaken to your divine and true potential? Tune in to A Spirited Exchange Radio with me, Carrie Kadambi, every second and fourth Wednesday at 4 p.m. Pacific on TransformationTalkRadio.com. We discuss the evolution of the modern mind and how the power of awakening, healing, and connecting allows us to step into living a life of love in action. For more information about me, visit thedivineguidancegift.com.
The Truth is Funny. Shift Happens with Colette Marie Steffen is excited to welcome Karen Benton as a monthly guest host. Tune in on the third Wednesday of each month at 8 a.m. Pacific Time to regain confidence and trust in your capacity to create change in your life, your health, your family, and your well-being. Karen Benton is a mother, nurse practitioner, certified body talk practitioner, Franklin Method instructor, and owner of Limitless Living LLC. For more information about Karen, visit KarenBenton.com.
We remember a time when you could simply form a thought and it would manifest. The harmony was forgotten, but it is returning now. The Power of Inspiration and Awakening Radio with Julia Griffin on TransformationTalkRadio.com each second and fourth Wednesday at 9 a.m. Pacific. We'll take you on adventures through the heart and spirit exploring who we once were. This intuitive healer studied under the guidance of wolves, learning from their wisdom to master a higher frequency for a new state of mind. Visit OneTrueSelf.com.
Are you ready to shift your current beliefs about death from debilitating pain and loss? Follow Angie Corbett-Kuiper as she shares that through choice, present moment awareness, and keeping an open mind that anything is possible, even in death. Tune in to Beyond Proof Radio with Angie, redefining death and loss, every first Wednesday at 12 p.m. Pacific on TransformationTalkRadio.com. For more, visit BeyondProof.com.
This is Living Lighter Radio with Jason, and I'm Patricia. In this segment, we're going to talk about the root cause of disappointment in love and what we can do about it today. We use an ecosystem approach to you, which is much different than what you are commonly taught. We see human beings as ecosystems that need to be uncovered instead of programmed. Human potential becomes infinite with our ecosystem approach. Okay. Are you really going to tell people the root cause of disappointment in love, Jason? And I'm sure everyone out there has a unique story. So I thought, basically we don't do one size fits all. So explain all that, Jason.
Well, we're not talking about the specific circumstances, but I know this is a root cause because as intuitives, we see how your essence works.
Yes.
And the root cause is the lack of self-love or that feeling of security within yourself and that feeling of being safe no matter what.
Yeah.
So
it's huge.
As we talked about last time, people jump into relationships before they have self-love and self-knowledge. And that is a recipe for disappointment in love. But the whole thing about self-love is that the process of self-love and self-knowledge, you start to not only do you start to understand yourself, but you start to see other people more objectively and clearly.
Yeah, that's and I'm gonna do a spoiler alert. The bottom line is that what you can do about it today is you can use the ecosystem approach today to really help yourself. Helping yourself first is one of the most important things you can do, because when you can handle everything that's handed to you and thrown your way and see things objectively and even emotionally, then what happens is you are the one who gets to control, or I'm going to say you're the one that gets to run your life instead of others and the disappointment in love running your life.
Well, in our programming world, we don't teach our children self-love. So for most of you are thinking bad because, I want to find someone and I don't have self-love. Don't beat yourself up because no one, we don't as parents, we don't know how to do that. We don't know how to do it for ourselves, let alone teach it for our children.
Right.
And self-love only comes from the specific world in your work on your essence by removing the negative energies, the feelings, the bad memories. And in this culture, we don't do that. We say, just do it. Doesn't matter how you felt before. Just drive on.
Exactly.
Move forward.
Exactly.
And ignore all the other stuff. And that always catches up with you.
Exactly. Crosby, Stills, Nash, and I'm not sure if Young wrote the song or not, but Teach Your Children. Wow.
I was writing this segment and I saw that song pop up, and it was perfect because, oh, by the way, I was looking at the lyrics and it's all programming. So it's, this is what they said, have a code to live by. Maybe you can hear the song. If you don't, just, I'm sure it's out there, but, and Crosby, Stills and Nash and Young that kind of dates us, it makes us look old.
Yeah, but it was, it was a great song. But anyway, go ahead.
They said, have a code to live by. Well, that code is programming. Feed them on your dreams. Well, what about their dreams?
What about your own dreams?
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. How many kids have become doctors, lawyers, or something else? Run the family, whatever business.
Your father wanted you to be what? An accountant. Oh, yeah. And you know what I have to tell you? I know you don't know Jason personally, but OMG, he couldn't do it. Pushing numbers for Jason is just not, don't get me wrong. He's great at math. Fabulous at it, but that's not who he is.
I can do my taxes, but then I'm burnt out for a week. And, so you can imagine if I just did numbers all day long.
No, wait, no, don't make me. No, I have to tell you, one of the things that he and I know is when you do what you love, then there's a part of you that loves yourself for doing it. But when you're not doing what you love, or if you're not with someone you love, you're not happy.
And that's a cliche, do what you love and everything will be okay.
Yeah.
But most people, and this is
don't know what it is. I'm
they
sorry.
Don't. We've been working with so many people for all these years, and we thought it was just us that we didn't know what we wanted, or but oh no, even people that act like they know what they want don't really know what they want.
Exactly.
And it's not for us to tell someone what they want or not, but over the years, and we've seen a lot of people over the years, and they start to rely on us to see them more clearly than they see themselves.
Well, I'm going to say that a little bit different.
Okay.
People, our clients have grown to love us because we see them for who they are and we accept them for it.
And most of them, when they come to us, don't really know who they are.
Exactly.
And we kind of help them with that.
Exactly.
And it's not. And someone could say, if you're a cynic, could say out there, well, you're programming them. Well, we've tried really hard. The uncovering process that we use with the ecosystem approach,
right, is
never programming, because it uncovers who you are authentically, as opposed to dictates who you are. But our programming culture, where you just say, just do it, doesn't matter how you feel,
right,
that doesn't work.
Well, there's an aspect of that uncovering by using the ecosystem approach. One of the most amazing things is to watch or listen to somebody who becomes surprised when they see an aspect of themselves that they always wanted to be. The surprise is so amazing. And that's a connection to love.
So,
and it's awesome is the point that I'm getting at. It's awesome to watch someone go, oh, you mean that part of me is a good thing? It's awesome.
It's one of the biggest distortions that we see.
Yes.
And one of the things that, it's funny, I can now see in hindsight, because I've been doing all this work on myself for the 20 years, not just other people. And I can see how my first two wives were
losers. What?
Well, no,
yeah. No jealousy.
That's a whole different topic, Judy. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They just were not the right people for me.
No.
And my perception of who they were or who they could be was completely off. Yeah. And the truth is, I've always had this intuitive sense, but I couldn't apply it, and I overrode it with my own sense of the shoulds. And the shoulds are the most awful thing that you can have. We get them from our parents, our culture.
What do you mean by the shoulds? You need to explain that, Jason. That's important.
And ideas about how things should be. This is where you go watch a love story on Hallmark Channel, and the woman who's in love is dealing with shoulds.
In other words, how come my life isn't that way? I should be doing this.
Yes, I should be happy because I'm doing this,
or I should have done that.
I should like this guy because
he has all the checklists.
Exactly,
yes.
And it really distorts how you feel.
Mm-hmm.
And when you have self-knowledge and self-love, then all of a sudden you start to see it the way it is. But I can see people now. It's funny, and this is. Yes, we're both intuitive, but the truth is, going through this process of self-love really activates your intuition.
Yes.
And you can see other people much more clearly. We have this, obviously we're not looking for other partners, but we go out in the world and we say, I don't know if I want to have a relationship with that person.
Right.
We're in this new neighborhood and we're meeting a lot of people, and frankly, not everyone we want to. We know how close we want to be and how close we don't want to be.
Exactly.
Because we can see all the stuff.
Well, I want to talk about one really great thing. I've been working with someone whom for less than a year, and this person would love to have abilities like mine. And so I've been working with this person using the ecosystem approach, and this person's abilities have started to open up, and I'm going to say even roar up. And you can see the difference in this person, but you can also see that this person is using their intuition to see and deal with their life. And it is such an amazing sight to see this, I'm going to use the word flower starting to blossom, to open up, this blossom to open.
And when that flower starts to open, the problem is always trying to reconcile our programming rules.
Yes.
That say, well, you're supposed to do it this way. You're supposed to do it this way. We don't know how that pervades everything in our culture.
We don't.
And we're not saying that you don't do any programming ever.
We all do it.
You can't just
we live
transition.
here. Yes.
You know, the natural way for self-love is clearing your emotions rather than suppressing or overriding those emotions.
Right.
And that's the biggest key to the difference.
And that's the biggest programming.
Yes.
Overriding your own emotions and the rules. It's really a big struggle. Jason, what are the key points of this segment?
The root cause of disappointment in love is a lack of self-love.
Okay.
In our programming world, we have no idea how to create self-love. And we are disappointed in love because we do it backwards. You're looking for a mate before we have self-knowledge. And the ecosystem approach teaches you self-love and self-knowledge in a way that's natural and organic to the way that you're designed.
Stay tuned. When we come back, we're going to talk about how to clear the hurt and pain of disappointment and how to start feeling better right now. This is Living Lighter with Jason and Patricia with an ecosystem approach to your life. You're listening to Transformation Talk Radio.
Sometimes being human has its challenges. Our physical health falters, our spirits sag, our dreams don't immediately come to fruition. Welcome to the power of Maximum Medicine Radio. Join me, Doc Martin, in conversations that will blow your mind about healing. In our hit show, Doc Martin addresses the scientific with bridging to the mystical approaches to give you a new narrative about maximum medicine. In this live call-in show, we will journey into the extraordinary genius of the human body and talk about other beliefs that impact being your multidimensional self. We seek the seen and the unseen and explore the earthbound and the otherworldly, all with the purpose of calling forth the maximum you. To learn more about Doc Martin and Maximum Medicine, visit www.sharonmartinmd.com.
Have you heard of drawing a longer line? A teacher drew a line on the board and asked her students how to make the line shorter without changing or erasing it. No one knew the answer, so she drew a longer line right next to the first one. You can be just like that teacher. If you lack self-confidence, you can draw a longer line. Think of someone you love, someone who inspires you, and ask yourself, what would they do? Remember, you don't have to change the fear or try and get rid of it. A bigger thought, a larger feeling, has the power to release you from the limits that undermine your confidence. Then you're free to take inspired action, to be your best self. Hi, I'm Sarah Main, co-host of Conscious Confidence Radio. Join me and my co-host Dr. Pat on TransformationTalkRadio.com. To learn more about how to transform your life with conscious confidence, go to my website, ConsciousConfidence.com.
Stuck in a roundabout of dysfunction? Learn how to speak your truth to power with host Dr. Kathy Obear. Create real change with smart tools and smart strategies. No frills, no fluff, just life-changing conversations to help get you where you want to be. Extend your reach and become an agent for real change with Kathy Obear. For more information on Kathy and her work, please visit drkathyobear.com. That's drkathyobear.com.
Living Lighter Radio with Jason, and I'm Patricia. And we're going to talk about how to clear the hurt and the pain of disappointment and how to start feeling better right now. We use an ecosystem approach to you, which is much different than what you are commonly taught. We see human beings as ecosystems that need to be uncovered instead of programmed. Human potential becomes infinite with our ecosystem approach. And audience, I want to back up. I talked about one of my clients in the last segment, and I neglected to connect the disappointment in love and in self to the story about the client. And the story, what I meant to say was that this person has been doing the ecosystem approach for a while, less than a year. But what I'm seeing is that this person has been very disappointed, not only in their life, but in love. And what I'm seeing now is that this person's intuition is starting to open up, and the disappointment in life is leaving. It's going away. And this person is clearing it layer by layer, and it's amazing.
And one of the things about energy work, and we're going to tell you what to happen when you have these bad feelings, but it's never linear.
No.
Because we think we're like a machine. So you reprogram someone and then you're done, right?
Right.
You've gotten rid of, maybe you felt really angry and now you don't feel angry anymore, and then you're done, right?
Right.
Well, it doesn't happen that way. Yeah. And it's always like a cyclical thing where you feel better, then you feel worse, you feel better, then you feel worse. And frankly, it's still, even after 20 years with Patricia and I, we feel better a lot more of the time.
Then we feel worse.
But
yes.
But when we go down to that, those things that were very root for us, they are pretty intense.
They are.
But we clear them away and they go away.
Okay. So, thank you for that, Jason. So let's say you got a divorce and you have all these intense feelings. What do you do first, Jason?
You start with the feelings that you have right now and you clear them specifically.
Okay. Give me an example.
For example, this is the statement that we use, and we're going to teach you how to do this in just a minute. But, I direct all my resources in all dimensions to eliminate feeling betrayed, feeling hurt,
right,
feeling angry, feeling that I want to make my ex a soprano. Anything that just comes up. Maybe you do that for a couple days, and then you just feel hopeless and say, "Oh my gosh,
right.
It's never. I'm always going to be alone for the rest of my life. I just might as well get used to it. Just clear that hopelessness, and then let's say you don't know how you feel.
Okay.
Well, clear numbness.
Right.
Clear the feeling that I don't know how I feel.
Right.
You can't ever really get trapped with the clearing process, and being specific is really, really helpful.
Especially when something like that majorly happens. That's one of the things we're trying to get across, is that the specifics are really important, but especially with the major things that happen in your life, clear them. Just clear them.
Well, in the example she was talking about just now was someone who is in a relationship, and you don't realize that those old feelings from old relationships keep coming up.
Yeah, they haunt you because guess what? You didn't clear them, so they haven't gone away. Exactly. Or you haven't taken the guilt and shame out of them.
If you're in a dead relationship, which is part of under the umbrella of disappointment and love,
right?
Chances are there's feelings that you had from other relationships or this relationship that hasn't been resolved.
Exactly.
By clearing, so those feelings are still there.
Yes.
And understand, when you do clearing, this is what's one of the great things about this ecosystem approach. You don't have to tell anybody.
Oh, you mean I don't have to put it on the radio?
Yeah, obviously we put it on the radio, but if you've got a doll that looks like your ex and you've got pins that you're putting into them, you don't have to tell anybody. If you feel,
and you can rearrange those pins every night if you want.
If you go out in the world and act very confident, but you feel like you're a complete loser, just clear feeling like a complete loser. But you don't have to talk about it. You don't have to tell your best friend. You don't have to say it out loud to the rafters. You don't have to put it on social media.
Exactly.
You can just clear it.
Yeah.
And I've often joked that this process is amazing for men, especially those in the protective occupations like cops and soldiers and firemen, people that don't, those macho jobs where people don't want to talk about their feelings.
Right.
You don't have to talk about them.
Right.
You just clear them.
Well, and even In other words, if you have a job that you cannot talk about your emotions or talk about what's going on in your life, man, this is the most amazing thing for you. And start the ecosystem approach today. It is so amazing.
Even if you have a breakup and maybe it's someone at work or someone that is in the public arena that you can't you can't yell at them, you can't scream at them, you can't do what you would normally want to do.
Right.
First of all, yelling and screaming doesn't help, and second of all, because it doesn't change the energy.
Well, no, it makes you look like a jerk. But
yes,
okay.
You go someplace private and just start to clear.
Exactly.
And this clearing process is cumulative. In other words, if you clear betrayal, and then a week later you're still clearing betrayal, it doesn't mean that you are failing. It means that there's a lot of betrayal, feelings of betrayal that have to be cleared. And some of these feelings, oh my gosh, when it comes to betrayal or anger or a breakup of a relationship, they're so deep-seated.
Mm-hmm.
They've been around way before you had this relationship. And so people don't think that you're failing if you're still doing it. It'll change. It'll ebb and flow. It'll get better in one area, but worse in another, and that sort of thing.
Well,
that's just part of the process.
And I want to bring up a point that when you're doing the I just forgot what it was. When you're doing the ecosystem approach, the bottom line is that you have an advantage because, and especially, it's not like you said, you don't have to yell it to the rafters, but you have an advantage because you know where you are in that moment. And then when you finish doing some clearing, in other words, maybe you've taken a break from work and then you have to go back to work, take a note how much better you feel.
Yes.
It's awesome. It is awesome. And like he said, it's not linear and things ebb and flow, absolutely, but you can be better in a very few minutes.
And Patricia, you had a story?
I do. One of the things that I've noticed about disappointment in love is that many people think that, well, I'll just leave that one relationship, or I'll let this dead relationship remain where it is, and I'll just go find somebody new. Well, the bottom line is that doing that might feel good in the moment, but you're just carrying that stuff with you. When you have a relationship, this is what I wanted to say earlier. When you have a relationship or something happens in your life, you cannot change what has happened, but you can change how you feel about it. And it's pretty amazing.
That's the energy we're talking about.
That is the energy that we're talking about. But back to my story. I know someone who has had several relationships since I have known her. And every time she ended up in a dead relationship or an abusive relationship or one that didn't work for her, instead of facing that relationship head on and saying, this isn't working or that's not the way it should be, that sort of thing, she just went and found somebody else new and then did things like in the middle of the night, packed everything up and left. Or walked out the door and left everything there and didn't say where she was going, or walked out the door and said, I'm gone, but didn't give any reason why.
One of the emotions that is underlying for most disappointment in love, whether you're a man or a woman, is neediness.
Yes.
And that compulsion to find another relationship right away is neediness.
Yeah.
And if you're looking for a relationship, the first thing you should clear is neediness, because neediness obscures your objectivity.
And it obscures how you even choose a new mate.
Yes.
It's pretty amazing. So, Jason, what are the key points of this segment?
When you're disappointed in love, the first thing to clear is the pain and the specific emotions that you're feeling.
Okay.
Understand that pain and hurt are deep-seated and do not go away easily.
Okay.
Replacing the love that disappointed you keeps you stuck in a cycle of disappointment after disappointment.
Right.
And the ecosystem approach is the way to clear the pain and get you to a place where you can find another love.
I love it. Okay. Jason, let's teach everybody how we do this energy work. Even if you know how we do it, follow along, everyone. This is always interesting.
If the things that we clear don't apply to you. Set your intention to have it help the person next to you.
Mhm.
That's not a problem. And just use your imagination. You can sit with any posture that you want. That you don't have to um, be in a specific way. You can stand up, sit down, lay down. Doesn't matter.
Mhm.
And as we say, and to eliminate, we'll say either veils and illusions, barriers, or specific emotions. Gather those things up in your body and blow them into an imaginary trash can. If you have an actual trash can there, use that.
Mhm.
We'll empty the trash can for you of those negative emotions and take care of that. And then we just go on to the next emotion. It's that simple.
And then after that, we're going to activate life force. Life force energy is the most positive, powerful energy that there is, that any of us has access to. And what we're going to do is we're going to call upon it. We're going to ask it to come in through the top of our head, go all the way down our torso and our arms and then our legs. And we're going to stop it at the tips of our toes. We're going to turn it around. We're going to take a deep breath and blow out any negative energy that is left over. Stay tuned. When we come back, we're going to do some clearings to help with the pain of disappointment in love and to help you get to a better place within yourself. This is Living Lighter with Jason and Patricia with an ecosystem approach to your life. You're listening to Transformation Talk Radio.
Break your snooze button habits for good with the Soul Stretching Sisters on the I Am Power Hour with me, Terry J. Walker.
And me, Dr. Pat, on TransformationTalkRadio.com.
Pump up your spiritual muscle as we share stories,
aspire higher,
and live a whole lot larger.
To help you unleash your powered up,
pumped up, I Am Soul Stretching Success.
Anything can happen when we take to the airwaves.
And all things become possible during the I Am Power Hour.
Are you meeting your sales goals? Or maybe your business plan could use a dose of the divine. Tune in to Divinely Driven Results with faith-based business coach Elise Smith on TransformationTalkRadio.com. Coach Elise Smith helps listeners get unstuck from their business plateau and become empowered through divine guidance. Build up belief in yourself and your dreams and learn business strategies that work for you for real lasting results. Learn more by visiting www.divinelydrivenresults.com.
Coming to you live on TransformationTalkRadio.com is the Brilliance Ultimatum. Time's Up with Claudette Rowley. Powerful conversations, practical innovations, and transformative solutions as Claudette and her guests delve into the possibilities and what she calls reality resistance. Join the cultural revolution and annihilate obstacles. Check it out at culturalbrilliance.com.
Living a richly abundant life sound too good to be true? Listen in to Richly Abundant Women with Julie Steelman on TransformationTalkRadio.com. Embrace a vibrant future of breaking free financially and creating a richly abundant life filled with prosperity and growth. To learn more about Julie Steelman and Richly Abundant Women, visit www.juliesteelman.com.
Hey, how's it going? If it's stressful or just plain exhausting, New Light Living is here to ask, is this the way you want to live? Join me, your intuitive spiritual life coach and host, Ulrika Sullivan, every week on New Light Living. Discover the power of creative tools to start living every day as your ideal dream day. See your life in the new light. To learn more, visit newlightliving.com.
This is Living Lighter Radio with Jason, and I'm Patricia. And in this segment, we're going to do some clearings to help with the pain of disappointment in love and to help you get to a better place within yourself. Remember, true love starts with you. Jason, you ready to get started?
Here we go. I direct all my resources in all dimensions to eliminate the veils and illusions so I can see that finding another love will not clear my disappointment and in love or help my feelings. Take a breath. Gather up all those veils and illusions. Blow them into that imaginary trash can.
and to eliminate the veils and illusions so I can see that my disappointment is an energy and it can be cleared. Take a breath. Pick up the disappointment, blow it out. You don't need it. Think about this. You have other things to do, and this disappointment is getting in your way. This energy of disappointment is getting in your way. Take a breath, everyone. You don't need it. And blow it out.
Here's a biggie. And to eliminate the hurt, pain, and anger that I have from disappointment, betrayal, and abuse from a previous relationship, even if it's not happening right now.
Right.
Gather that all up, blow it into the trash can.
And to eliminate my impatience to remove the hurtful and painful feelings that keep me from self-love. By the way, good one, but pick it up. You don't need it. Take a breath and blow it out.
And to eliminate my neediness to go find another relationship right now, which just sets me up to be disappointed over and over and over again. Neediness is an energy, and doesn't matter how much attention or love that you get, that neediness doesn't go away.
Take a breath, unless you use the ecosystem approach. Take a breath and blow it out. And to eliminate any anger and frustration I have about relationships and my past relationships and being loved. Take a breath. Blow it out.
And to eliminate any bitterness, frustration, and hate I have about my old partner. Even if it's no longer relevant for me, just clear it anyways.
Take a breath. And to eliminate any guilt and shame I have about previous relationships, and maybe even the relationship you're in right now. How about the relationship you have with yourself? Take a breath. You don't need the guilt and shame. It's in your way. Take a breath.
And to eliminate the numbness that keeps me from knowing what to clear. When I'm disappointed in love, take a breath.
Or disappointed in myself, take a breath. And to eliminate any neediness, shame, or unworthiness that keeps me from self-love, that keeps me from loving myself. Take a breath. Blow it out. Blow it into that trash can. You don't need it.
And to eliminate the pain, the hurt, and the numbness that keeps me from self-love. Take a breath.
By the way, if you're doing this and you're going along with this and you're yawning, I want you to know what that means is that you're not bored. We know that. But the bottom line is that you're removing huge chunks of negative energy. Wait a minute. Way to go. Yay. I love that.
It means it's working.
It means it's working. Exactly. And to eliminate the bitterness and frustration and hate I have about, myself. Take a breath. You don't need it.
And to eliminate the barriers so I can have hope to continue to clear myself for self-love, no matter what situation I'm in. Take a breath.
And I want to back up and say, and to eliminate any bitterness that I have that's keeping me stuck in the negative energies of feeling old, fat, ugly, wrinkled, broken, and unworthy. I don't need these energies. They don't serve me. Breathe.
And to eliminate the hopelessness that says, because I feel that way, I'll never find another person to be with me.
Right. Take a breath. And to eliminate the barrier so I can have hope to continue to clear myself for self-love. Take a breath.
So let's activate some life force. Here we go.
Okay.
I direct all my resources in all dimensions to activate life force so I can trust that clearing myself over a long period of time will lead to self-love. Take a breath.
Take a breath. Pull that in through the top of your head. Remember, it's the most positive, powerful energy you have access to. Take a breath. And blow it out. And activate life force so I can trust my neediness for relationships can be cleared, and my neediness for self-love and the neediness for others' love of me can be cleared. Take a breath. Blow it out.
And to activate life force so I can see my potential for positive relationships will happen with more self-love.
Love it. And to activate life force so I can be healthy and happy, creative, have laughter and love and enjoy my life and be aware of who I am and love me for who I am so I can then love others. So I can have peace, hope, and happiness right now. Take a nice breath. Let that go in through the top of your head, all the way down to the tips of your toes. Stop it at the tips of your toes, turn it around, and blow out any negative energy that's left over. There you go. So, Jason, what are we going to talk about next week?
This is a really important show for us. We're shortening our name to the ecosystem approach. So we're taking off Living Lighter and we're going to just use the ecosystem approach. But we're going to do a deep dive in why the ecosystem approach is a revolutionary first step for the age of Aquarius. And, you know, the truth is that we're going to really kick off the ecosystem approach with this show because we're going to talk about the story and all the different things that you can get from the ecosystem approach that a lot of people just say, oh, yeah, I heard that story about disappointment and love, and that really helped me, so I'm gonna do some of that, but they don't get the big picture.
Right.
And this is the big picture, and it's going to be amazing.
Well, and I want to say, have you ever wondered why you're here on Earth at this time? Have you ever wondered, why? I know I did, much earlier in my life, but then I truly discovered I came here to connect with the age of Aquarius. I was one of those people that was supposed to help others kick off the best of not only what's here on Earth, but what's in the alignment of the stars. And so I want everyone to join us for that show next week. It is so unbelievably important.
I thought you were going to break out into the song. You know, people say, well, I know the age of Aquarius is that song, right? Well, no, it's not the song. It's really an energy age. And we're going to talk about that. This will blow your mind. Just be sure and tune in.
Exactly. So if some part of you gets the importance of clearing your essence with the ecosystem approach, mark your calendar. Living Lighter Radio is every week, Monday at 1 p.m. Pacific and 4 p.m. Eastern Time. If you can't listen at that time, our show is recorded, and you can go to our website, www.livinglighter.org, and look for the radio tab.
You know, we are changing our name. So if you go to livinglighter.org and after we change our name, it'll redirect you to the new website. And that's okay. But here's what I want to say. If you really want to love yourself, if you've been disappointed in love and this is a big deal to you, and you say, okay, I want that self-knowledge, I want that self-love. Even if you're in a relationship now, that self-knowledge and self-love is amazing and critical to your happiness.
Right.
And so the way to do that is by listening to the show every week and then going on our website at livinglighter.org and going to the newsletter tab. We just ask for your name and your email address. Sign up for our newsletter. Every week we give you the clearings so you can put them on your phone. do them during the day, do them multiple times during the day. It will really make a difference in your life. And it's all free. We're not charging you for any of this. Please do that. It's going to make an amazing difference. And we are changing our Facebook page, but right now you can get us at Living Lighter on Facebook, and we'll connect next week at 1 p.m. Pacific time, 4 p.m. Eastern time.
Okay, and doing what? Wishing you a lifetime of living lighter. Thank you for listening to Living Lighter Radio with Jason and Patricia. I'm Patricia. We have an ecosystem approach to your life. Tune in weekly as we discuss what's truly holding you back. We offer you the tools you need to reach your goals and at the same time be living lighter. For more information, visit our website at www.livinglighter.org.
Views expressed on this program are those of the hosts, guests, and callers, and are not necessarily those of this station, its management, or other advertisers. You're listening to Transformation Talk Radio.